do get your first drink, and a very, very big welcome to you all.
When I walk through the door every single day, I'm valued. I'm embraced. I'm applauded. I am believed. I am admired. I am cherished. I am respected. I am included. I am treasured. I am recognized. I am loved. I am appreciated. I am nurtured. I am honored. At Flipkart, every single day, I am essential. I am me. At Flipkart, every single day, I belong.
I think that absolutely deserves a very big round of applause. A beautiful and very, very powerful message. I think resonated with a lot of us. Good evening, everyone, and once again, a very, very warm welcome to this beautiful, exclusive event, Spark 2023 Inclusive Leadership Summit. I am your host for the evening, Serena Singh, and I stand here with 30 years of experience, an ex-banker turned coach, consultant, and mentor. And I've been associated with VAs for over 3 years and do a lot of work with a lot of the organizations here. So once again, a very, very big welcome to all of you. Firstly, I would like to express my gratitude to each and every one of you for being here on a very busy work day, a Tuesday evening, and spending the time with us here. It just is a pure testament of the commitment you have to fostering inclusivity and leadership excellence. As we begin this evening, I would like to first and foremost invite a lady who needs no introduction, a very dear friend, Anuranjita Kumar, co-founder and CEO of VAs. VAs, an organization engaged in the mission of making workplaces more productive, progressive, and gender balanced, working across industries across 4 years, and this is the opening to the doors of inclusion. Anu, please may I invite you to come on stage. Anuranjita, a driving force behind workplace transformation, will guide us through the lens of business inclusion, highlighting its profound connection to innovation and impact. So we are all set to get inspired.
Thank you, Serena, as always, and thank you for your friendship and partnership and your efforts in building ways. And there is too much light on the stage for, I can't even see the times, but I think it's a really special evening because it's the first time we've got many of our partners, our friends, our coaches, our trainers, all of you together. So I wanted to start with a welcome and also a huge expression of gratitude for all the sponsors who supported us through the journey, and also all the clients who supported us over 3 years in making what VAS is today. I'm going to actually walk through the memory lane a bit, and VAS was launched in 2021. And that picture out there is exactly how it felt like. We were on uncharted territory. As many of you know that I've been a corporate here for about 25 years. I didn't know thing of entrepreneurship, and as Nagaro team here will vouch, I didn't know thing of technology. And here I said, oh, I need to go on this digital learning street. As I quit my job, COVID hit. So a lot of people said, now, go back to what you were doing best. And I said, if I jumped, and we'll see what will happen next. But it did feel like lots of clouds. The horizons weren't clear. And I think we were convinced about the journey I was in. There were three things which happened. One is, which initially didn't work in my favor. First of all, we were B2B. And remember 21 was the heady of everybody doing B2C or B2C, and I was told it won't work. Second thing was I was closer to 50, so that wasn't going to work. Third thing, I was a woman, so that wasn't going to work. And a lot of, since I come from BFSI, a lot of my friends are in private equity or venture capitalists who told me, kya zarurat hai? You made your money and your husband is doing fine, right? But that was not to be because I'm sure if I sat at home, maybe that was not so acceptable to my husband either. So, but this is exactly how it felt, and I think 2 or 3 years down the line, as we moved on, we kind of climbed many mountains, and we feel that we have now arrived at the peak where the sun is shining. And I don't mean peak in terms of our products and our delivery, but peak in terms of what we aspire to do or what we can do. If you can go to the next slide, please. So I think the gratitude comes from climbing the peak. It's not about reaching the peak. It's the journey. It's where I'm probably kind of getting to. And the sun shining is we're just about there. We're just about getting started. I don't think this is a completion of any journey, but we're just about getting started. But as Kipling says, and it stays with me, that if you dream, let your dreams not become a master. If you think, let your thoughts not become an aim. If you can meet triumph and disaster with the same passion, then yours is the earth and everything in it. And that's how we really feel as a team today. I think I speak on behalf of the VAS team where we feel extremely optimistic. And as we move forward, I mean, this is a testimony of our own faith and belief. We're now across 13 countries, 3 different regions. But let me say, we remain a very unique company, supported by many people here in many ways. So I wanted to thank you and just say, निकला था अकेला ही जनाबे मंजिल लोग आते गए और कारनामा बनता गया. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Anu. As I said, I have been associated now with VAS for over 3 years, and it's been an incredible journey. I'm a pure witness to how transformation has happened, and kudos to the entire team for bringing us to the day today. Anu, of course, you've shared some insights into how the journey has been, and as we take our next step into this beautiful event of the Spark Inclusive Leadership Summit, I would like to welcome another very distinguished speaker, Gaurav Tegal, CHRO at SMFG India Credit Company Limited. Gaurav will be sharing invaluable insights on building equitable organizations, the role of inclusive leadership in fostering diversity, innovation, and impact. Gaurav's expertise promises to set the tone for an exploration into inclusive leadership and its profound connection to innovation and impact. So here again, please get ready for an engaging session. Over to you, Gaurav.
Thank you. Thank you, BAs, for giving us this opportunity. Thank you, Arun. Thank you, Samir. I think the journey that we began on diversity and inclusiveness, you guys have been a great partner to us, to tell us what are the right things to be done. And thank you for providing this opportunity to talk about what are our thoughts on this and what are some of the initiatives that we have taken. I will talk more about the importance of building an inclusive culture in a diverse and globalized world. Building an inclusive culture is a strategic priority for organizations looking to build sustainable value in the long run. In the VUCA world that we keep talking about, this is only possible through better understanding and responsiveness towards a diverse base of customers and employees, and creating the right enablers for innovation, creative thinking, and belongingness. I think when in our school days, we've been reading about India as a country which brings in unity in diversity. Yeah. So I will talk about our presence in India. For SMFG India, this is even more important as we cater to a diverse customer base across 65,000 villages and 600 towns in India. The diversity of geography, linguistic preferences, socioeconomic background, digital savviness, and access to finance alone lends to enough richness and complexity in the way we cater to their needs. Gender is the next important pillar of diversity for us, as more and more women from rural areas are coming forward for group loans. Currently, more than 90% of our customer base in the rural comprises of women, making it important for us to ensure our workforce and processes are inclusive. And if you've seen the recent announcement that was made, they are introducing PM Mudra Yojana, where they are according the top priority to create financial inclusion to women. I'll talk about some of the key benefits of an inclusive culture. Of course, most of you all know about it, but how do we look at it is important. Embracing diverse perspectives. Inclusivity fosters a variety of thoughts, experiences, and perspectives for effective problem solving. Inclusive teams excel at addressing complex challenges and making informed decisions in a network environment. Let me give you an example of what happened during the demonetization phase, where collections became really difficult for us. And what we did as an idea was, in the rural areas, we decided that we will have one women employee hired in the branch who could support us to meet the customers and try and collect for us. And that idea really worked for us. So how do we embrace this? And in the challenging times, I think these form the best case studies for us. Talent attraction and retention. Organization known for inclusivity, attract and retain top talent. Inclusive culture promotes a sense of belonging, increasing engagement, and job satisfaction. Inclusive cultures challenge stereotypes and biases, creating a more equitable environment. Then we talk about organization performance. How does it impact organization performance? Inclusive cultures contribute to financial success, innovation, and adaptability. I think that's the key word in today's VUCA world that we spoke about. This is through a better understanding of customers and their psychographic needs, and designing products and services that are inclusive. The last, and I think the most important one, is social responsibility. Inclusive practices enhance a company's reputation and brand loyalty. You've seen many companies that I wouldn't want to name them. I'm sure there are many companies with social responsibility have created a great reputation for themselves. Now, let me share a personal commitment to fostering inclusion as a core organization value. Diversity is already instated as a core value at SMFG India. At a personal level, below is my mission statement. I am committed to continuous learning and self-reflection to better understand and address biases, through fostering open dialogue and seeking input from all levels. I aim to inform inclusive decision making. My mission is to create an environment where diversity is celebrated, every voice is valued, and our collective strength propels us towards a more inclusive future. In the current context of organization, I would like to emphasize that how creating a welcoming and respectful environment for everyone means inclusion for us. In the organizational sphere, this can be linked to crafting a dynamic and cohesive workplace, similar to how each distinct piece in a mosaic enhances the overall visual impact. Fostering inclusion means cultivating an environment where individuals with diverse skills, perspectives, and backgrounds collaborate seamlessly. The deliberate orchestration of talents ensures that each employee, much like a mosaic piece, contributes value and distinctiveness to the overarching organizational composition. Inclusion transcends mere diversity metrics. It involves shaping a workplace tapestry where every individual is not only recognized but also an essential component of a unified and innovative organizational culture. Now, let me talk about the last bit, and I think that is one of the most important aspects of this keynote, which is the role of leadership. The role of leadership in setting the tone for inclusion is paramount, and we all, I think, agree to this. Leaders serve as a guiding force, influencing the values and behaviors that permeate through the entire workforce. To foster inclusion, leaders must exemplify inclusive behavior and attitudes in some of the ways that we think. Lead by example, of course, we've heard this phrase, but what can they do when it comes to diversity and inclusiveness? Leaders should model inclusive behavior in their actions and decisions, demonstrating respect for diversity and commitment to create an equitable environment. Promote open communication. I think this is the most important thing when we want to promote an abstract subject like diversity and inclusiveness, who've got very different definitions in their mind. We should encourage transparent and open communication, creating a culture where employees feel safe, expressing their opinions, concern, and ideas without fear or bias or reprisal. I think the other important one is to acknowledge and celebrate differences. I think this is really important, which becomes difficult to communicate to some of the managers or leaders who can really bring in the difference. Leaders should recognize and celebrate the diverse background, skills, and perspective of their team members, fostering an environment where every contribution is valued. Leaders must address any instances of biases or discrimination swiftly and decisively, reinforcing a zero tolerance approach and demonstrating the organization's commitment to inclusivity. Then how do we really bring in these kind of statements into the organization? So I think one of these suggestions that we had was to have inclusive policies. Implement and advocate for inclusive policies and practices within the organization, ensuring that these are reflected in recruitment, promotions, and day-to-day operations. Then how do we foster mentorship and sponsorship programs? I think in one of the earlier sessions, I kept hearing that we would need committees, we would need sponsorship coming right across the organization who would support this idea and which brings in trust and confidence amongst the employees within the organization to take this agenda ahead. Encourage mentorship and sponsorship programs that support the professional development of individuals from underrepresented groups, fostering a culture of support and growth. And the last point here is measure and communicate progress. I think that's very important. The employees would want to know what are you doing after you started these initiatives, where do you start and where are you today, and what are some of the goalposts that you have created for the organization for such initiatives. I would like to just summarize the key takeaways and reiterate the commitment to building an inclusive culture. Embrace diversity, celebrate diversity, perspectiveness, experiences, and background. Leadership role. Leaders set the tone of inclusivity through their behaviors and policies. Inclusive culture benefits, drives innovation, employee engagement, and overall business success. Policy support. Organizational policies should actively reinforce diversity and inclusion. Open communication, encourage transparent communications channels for feedbacks and ideas. And I would reiterate the commitment. I'm deeply committed to building an inclusive culture where diversity is celebrated and every individual is empowered to contribute their unique strength. Let us continue to learn, grow, and create an environment where inclusivity is not just a goal but a lived reality. Thank you so much for hearing me out.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. May I request Ruchi Shah, CFO VS, to please present a memento to Gaurav for his invaluable contribution to this journey and to the summit for sure. And I was just thinking of a few things that you said, Gaurav. One is, of course, psychological safety. I'm using words of my own as is expressed by people in your organization. I'm sure as a leader, you have kind of walked the talk and demonstrated that inclusion and leadership are agnostic to a lot of things, and that's what it is. You mentioned the VUCA world, so volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. I'm hearing that we are also now already entered into what is called the BANI world, BANI, which is brittle, anxious, non-linear, and incomprehensible. So, welcome to another phase of this beautiful and complex world. Sorry, Samir is here. Samir, please, if you could present the memento to Gaurav. Thank you once again, Gaurav. Post this beautiful piece of some of the work that SMFG is doing and Gaurav is a leader, I would now like to welcome Priyanka Bhargava, Senior Director of Brand Marketing and Head of Consumer Research at Flipkart. Priyanka, with her extensive experience, will be sharing insights on cultivating a culture of belonging, the power of inclusive leadership in today's diverse workforce, while exploring its connection to innovation and impact. Over to you, Priyanka.
Indeed, I would say there's a lot of light here, but I can still see the audience, so that's good. Am I audible like we used to do it in COVID times? Thanks for the confirmation. All right, so I'm Priyanka Bhargav. Thank you so much for the lovely intro. We are Flipkart. We came from Bangalore this morning. Super excited to be here in my hometown, Sada Delhi, irrespective of any amount of AQI, 500, 800,000. The love in my heart for Delhi will never reduce. Thank you so much. Okay, I have been strictly told by Pallavi, who leads our DNI initiative at Flipkart, to use the slides. So I will use the slides. Okay. I'm using the slides, just that the slides are not using it. Oh, great. All right, so great. Thank you so much. So today we're going to talk about a topic which is very, very close to our heart. We are very, very passionate. In fact, this journey on making Flipkart as an organization which is extremely inclusive, also boasts about diversity, started a couple of years back. We have made some major strides in this journey, and I'm extremely proud to share with you some of the nuggets of this journey with you. Hopefully, many of you will also be able to benefit, and during the break time, we could also learn from a lot of good people sitting here. So let me first start off with what is really our vision when it comes to this intervention. So let me first start off with our people and culture vision, which is empowering flipsters, as we call ourselves very proudly, to maximize their potential and well-being, which actually underpins our commitment to inclusion and acts as the guiding light for the inclusion and diversity vision that we have. Now, why maximizing? Because as all of you may know, that Flipkart, which is a leader in e-commerce, and we are extremely strong in the tier 2 or the Bharat market of the country, for us, the quintessential target audience is the value maximizer. In fact, everybody who's sitting in this room also who does not belong to Bharat, we belong to India, we are also value maximizers in our own way of life. Yeah? And for Flipkart, that is the target audience that we are catering to. Now, in order to be able to do that, our people, culture, as well as the inclusion and diversity vision is also intertwined with what is really our purpose of existence. Let me also call this out. Strengthen diversity, representation, and foster a culture of inclusion to maximize the potential and well-being, which is extremely important for us, of flipsters, thereby becoming an equal opportunity employer where the potential of every individual who comes on board is recognized, is enabled, and is celebrated in its own unique way. How do we do this? Let me share some of our learnings in this journey. We do this by co-creating, collaborating, co-partnering, and co-owning, which is extremely important because ownership, owners, and really measuring what we have done is what we truly believe in. So let me first start off with how do we do this. As you can see, we want to ace this game, and there is 4 A's that we follow. First is really assessing. We are in touch with a lot of ecosystem partners, vendors, a lot of brands which are ahead of us in this journey. A lot of these mature organizations who've been there, done that. We are learning a lot of the best practices of many of these brand partners, vendors, and partners. Once we do understand what really it takes to be there, we are therefore moving on to the next A, which is attracting the kind of talent or the diversity in the talent that we are looking at, which is also intertwined to the value maximization and maximizing the well-being of the fixers or the employees itself. Attracting the right talent, attracting the diverse talent is one part of the process. The other part of the process is really ensuring that we are assisting this talent through and through. And let me give you one small example. We have a lot of fulfillment centers, a lot of warehouses, etc., which obviously operate in very, very different ecosystem and environment versus our AC offices. We have a lot of diverse workforces which are working out of these fulfillment centers and warehouses. What we have done is partnered with a lot of agencies who have helped us in auditing this from the perspective that do we have the right working environment for us to be able to enable this talent. So the point to be noted here is that while we are acquiring the diverse talent, we're also ensuring that the opportunity is being given to this talent to really shine in the environment without any constraint. And finally, assuring, which is also the management and the ownership part of the work that I was referring to, we ensure that through our employee voice surveys, which don't happen once in a year, our CHRO has very consciously moved away from once in a year e-voice survey. We do it literally every second day because we really want to capture the mood, the emotion, the sentiment of the employees. We have used that tool to really figure out that this newer talent and the diverse talent that we are acquiring, hopefully we have not failed them. And are we doing the right things to ensure that we are giving them the environment so that they are able to move on with the right style. Let me come on to the next one as to, and this is really my favorite part of the presentation. We are important to this diverse talent, but more importantly, and I personally feel that as a DNI Council member, that this diverse talent is far more important to us because the kind of value addition, and as you can see, there are a lot of these examples here. We talk about there's a Flipkart seller, okay, who comes from a very Bharat tier 2 hinterland. We talk about the sellers who are coming from the different parts of the country, etc. Now, basically, what we see here is that if we are catering to the need gaps and the need states of the customers, who are very, very diverse in nature, in fact, one such example that we were just discussing, is that if we support the LGBTQ plus community, and if there is a certain requirement, taste, preferences when it comes to product and offerings, how will we build that kind of a catalog on the platform if we were not to have like-minded people to build that kind of product internally? And hence, since we are in a country which is extremely diverse in nature in terms of the cultural DNA, there is a change in the cultural discourse itself. And as a company itself, we are looking at acquiring, onboarding, maintaining a lot of diverse set of customers. It really helps us to also invite on board talent which is absolutely differentiated and diverse in nature. In fact, one such study which we came across also was in alignment with where we are going in the kind of direction that we are going, is that how important it is for the employees to feel belonged, to feel that yes, their voices are being heard, their voices are being considered in the decision making. And that was also one of the reasons as to why we also changed the name of our charter from workplace equality to actually be belong. And that's exactly what was also there in the first video that you saw, wherein you saw people coming in from diverse backgrounds and talking about that how they are respected, how they are celebrated, how their uniqueness is actually identified and leveraged in order to ensure that we are able to create a very diverse product offering for our consumers as well. And just going back to the data, as you can see, 92% of the people who were interviewed in the Cognizant and the Microsoft survey here, they said that how important it is for them to feel belonged in an organization, for them to be able to really shine. And some of the examples that you will see here is how the diversity is thriving back home in Flipkart, where people are feeling included, where they feel that they belong. And all of these examples that you see, in fact, the photograph that you see on the left-hand side, a couple of those members are part of my team. I also can share an experience wherein a lady came up to me and she actually shared some of her internal fears that what if I come out in open, what will happen to me? What that means is that as a manager, one also needs to be very, very open, non-judgmental, unbiased in the way we are talking to our employees to ensure that we give them a very, very safe environment. Yeah. I'll move very quickly from the rest of the slides because I really want to talk about the importance of the role of an inclusive leader. Sorry. Yeah. So some of the tools that we use to ensure that as an inclusive leader, I'm doing the right things to ensure that I'm celebrating and also recognizing and acknowledging my diverse talent and making them feel that sense of belonging. Because ING for us is not only just a moral mandate, it is also a business imperative for us, thereby building a competitive advantage versus our competition. So, if you were to actually see, the leaders are really playing the role of the champions of change, and the way we are doing it is first listening. Yeah, we are listening to our diverse talent. We are understanding from them. In fact, I myself have conducted a couple of focus group discussions within the diverse talent groups that we have to understand from them in a very safe environment. Have we given them the right environment? Are there any challenges that they are facing in such a way that they can actually openly share? So transparency is extremely important in such scenarios. Next is really understanding. There is a lot of good work which has been done by Pallavi and her team, who leads the IND Council, wherein there is something called a gifts on inclusion. We have partnered with an external agency who comes back to us and talks about how in a very unbiased way we can actually ensure that we're giving the right environment. But subconsciously these biases creep in the way we deal, we talk, we write, we speak, etc. One such example, in fact, I myself was writing a JD, a job description for a new recruit in my team, and this is like a couple of years back. Subconsciously, as a female employee, I was writing a job description for a male employee. He should have these talents. He should have an experience. They're small little things, but it really goes a long way in really building what is the kind of mindset that we have. And while it is very subconscious, we have to be very conscious about these biases in our mind and work towards them. So gifts of inclusion actually are these learnings which are then cascaded to the managers. Almost 1,000+ managers have been part of Flip the Script program, which the IIT Council team has been running for quite some time now. Right Collective Group is again a very safe environment where people come together, they talk about challenges, but they also talk about what can be done better, how can we improvise it further, not only for ourselves but also for the customers. Mom on board is one such example that I, as Priyanka, stand in front of you. I had my second kid about 6 years back while I was still with Flipkart Group. Since then, I feel such great pride in sharing that I came on back to Flipkart. I was in Mitra back then. I came back to Flipkart. I was promoted. My charters were expanded without anyone asking me, how will you manage with a 6 months old or an 8 months old baby? If the woman had the will and the intent to prove herself, this organization, through the kind of mindset changes that we have brought in, is the way to go. So that's the kind of very, very fertile environment that we are trying to build for all the diverse talent across. Finally, experiencing. All of the pictures that you see here of Flipsters, they are all VPs, SVPs, leaders, such as all of us. These are people who don the hat of wish masters. These are people who come to your doorstep to deliver. These are delivery executives. Internally, we call them wish masters because they are really fulfilling the wishes of the larger India. So these are our leaders who during the brilliant days or otherwise, they don the hat of wish masters, go and lead the customers. There are times when the doors have been shut on our faces. There are times when we have not been able to go past the my gate approval because nobody approved it, so I had to go back. There are times when I had to open up an open box delivery to proudly show lingerie to my customer, which is absolutely fine. But those are experiences which are extremely important so that when we go back, we are able to create processes which are far more inclusive in general. Yeah? Let me now leave you with one video, which is, and let me just give you a little context to that. You've all heard of Chennai Super Kings. This story is about Chennai Super Queens. This is about a shift in a fulfillment center in Chennai, which is entire shift is managed by only women of Flipkart. Irrespective of day or night, in fact, during big brilliant days, during night, the night shifts have been managed only by the women crew. And how they have done is absolutely inspirational for all of us. So this video is for all of you to consume. Thank you so much for hearing me. Just trying to see if I can play it here. Or if you can play from that. Can you play from that? You try? Okay. Even at Flipkart, we are technical related because we are tech first organization. So it is still okay. It's the last slide of the presentation. Yeah, I think it is happening. So till then I can see the coming. So I will.
Just one moment, sure. I want the time. I don't like to do something. Yeah, I will.
என் பேர் மோனிகா, எனக்கு 20 வயசு ஆகுது. நான் வந்து ஆபரேஷன் எக்ஸிக்யூட்டிவா இருக்கேன். இங்க வந்து ஷிப்மெண்ட் ஸ்டார்டிங் அண்ட் கிராஜுவேட் ஆஃபீஸ் பண்ணுறேன். ஃபிளிப்கார்ட்ல ஒர்க் பண்றது வந்து நான் ரொம்ப ப்ரௌடா ஃபீல் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். என் பேர் வந்து சசிகலா. ஃபிளிப்கார்ட்ல வந்து ஆபரேஷன் எக்ஸிக்யூட்டிவா இருக்கேன்.
என்னோட நேம் ஜெனிஃபர். ரெகுலரா வந்து ரிப்போர்ட்டிங் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன்.
I'm working. I'm having in charge here doing operations as well as managing people.
I'm Bhuwana. I'm a FSC manager for Chennai. My day starts and ends everything in safety and security of employee works inside the facility.
ஃபுல்லா கேர்ள்ஸா இருக்கிறதுனால ஒர்க் பண்றதுக்கு ரொம்ப ஃப்ரீயா ஃபீல் பண்றேன். அப்புறம் வந்து எல்லாருமே ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் ஃபேமிலியா இருக்கிறதுனால எனக்கு ஒர்க்லெஸ் மட்டும் ஃபீல் ஆகுது. எப்பெல்லாம் காலேஜ் அந்த மாதிரி டெய்லி வந்து ஜாலியா இருக்கு. கேர்ள்ஸ் வந்து ஐடி எல்லாத்துலயும் கேர்ள்ஸ் இருக்காங்க இப்போ. ஆனா இந்த மாதிரி வேற ஹவுஸ்ல இல்ல. அதனால நான் இது ஒரு சேலஞ்சாவே இருக்கு. நான் இங்க ஒர்க் பண்ணலாம்னு டிசைட் பண்ணேன்.
இப்போ வந்து விமன்ஸ் வந்து எல்லா இடத்துலயும் ஈக்குவல் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி கிடைக்குது. இப்போ வந்து மேல் வந்து டீச் பண்ணணும்னா அவங்க வந்து லென்த் தான் டீச் பண்ணுவாங்க. இப்போ விமன்ஸ் நம்ம டீச் பண்ணோம்னா அவங்க ஹோல் ஜெனரேஷனுக்கே வந்து டீச் பண்ணுவாங்க. இந்த ஒர்க்ல ரொம்ப பெஸ்ட் திங் என்னன்னா இந்த கஸ்டமர் வந்து நம்ம வந்து ஷார்டஸ்ட் டைம்ல வந்து அவங்களோட சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷனை வந்து நாம வந்து நிறைவேற்றணும். அதுதான் எனக்கு வந்து பெஸ்டாக.
My duty is to take care of my employee who is working inside the facility, and even while traveling also, I make sure they travel safe and they reach the hub. And same time, while going home also, I make sure they reach their home very safely. I want to be one of the best and the topmost person as a woman who represents the security field all over the world, and I will prove it.
Women are the real architects of the world.
பெண்கள் தன்னம்பிக்கையை வடிவம்.
Women believe they could, so they did it.
No, I just want to thank you. I think the ASIC was beautiful, and as I was just sharing with Priyanka, these kind of videos sometimes do give you a little bit of goosebumps. But absolutely example, we have allies and we have advocates all across the organization, both men and women, to support such teams who are kind of going ahead. And of course, we speak about equity versus equality, and that is where the difference is. So how different needs can be served to create equality, and that's really what equity is. So thank you very much, Priyanka. And please could I request Ruchi Shah now on stage to present a mentor for Priyanka here. Ruchi. Super. So I have kind of patented a term, and I keep joking in all my sessions that whoever uses it is to pay royalty, which is moving from unconscious bias to conscious unbiased. And how all of us can make that one small difference on a day-to-day basis in our lives. Inclusion has one very important component which is in each of our controls. which is to include. And hence, that one action I think each of us can start taking even as we speak now. So brace yourself for yet another powerful conversation. And I would like to now invite on stage Pallavi Rai. Pallavi is a client partner for hybrid cloud services at IBM Consulting, and she will guide us through the realm of AI and inclusive leadership. Welcome, Pallavi. Pallavi is going to talk to us through the opportunities and challenges presented by automation in fostering diversity and inclusion, emphasizing the vital connection between inclusive leadership, innovation, and impact. The stage is all yours, Pallavi.
By the way, Priyanka, it was awesome to hear what Flipkart is doing around inclusion. Absolutely proud to hear. It is India, by the way. Made in India, yeah. Quickly, thank you, VAs, for having me here. It is an amazing evening of learning. And thank you, VAs, Anu, Samir, for having me join the car, right? So that's what it is. With that, we will get started, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to seek your curiosity for a moment. If you all can think and let me know what this image is all about. Any guesses? Okay, a clue. This image is from a popular award-winning movie. It's an Oscar award-winning movie. Lovely, who said that? Raise your hand. Impressive, right? So this is about a story, a period story of Alan Turing. What Alan Turing did was during the World War II, he broke the code called Enigma, and he developed this whole algorithm, which now has become the basis of AI. Right, so that's what is Alan Turing, and here we are, right, from back in 1950 to where AI, right, it is taking leaps and bounds, and you will see AI as Ananda was mentioning earlier, right, it's just the tip of the iceberg, and AI will grow exponentially, right. Let's go to the next page. Okay, another interesting image, right. While all of us been watching AI movies, right, and a typical of a Hollywood movie would depict a dystopian future of AI, right, where you will see humanoids surviving along with the human race. AI is not just about the humanoids, right? What it means is it is much deeper. It is going to make you decide, right? It is helping you take decisions in a much faster way, right? So it is going to reshape how decisions are taken today and will be taken tomorrow, right? So that's what it is about AI. Let's look at the world in a moment, how it surrounds us, right? How many decisions today are taken for you by an AI? For example, you have, sorry, we have to go back. Yeah, so for example, you're in this world where Netflix recommends you what movies you want to binge, right? It helps, there is this Spotify that tells you what music you need to hear, right? Google Maps tells you which is the best route that you got to watch, right? So what it means, of all of that, phone recognizes your face, right? What it means is AI is all pervasive, right? Let me quickly take you through back a few years when a tech giant, right, was developing a image recognition software. Till today, it is a very popular AI-driven software to upload photos and share it with your friends and families, right? What had happened back then, when the AI was still evolving, while there was a lot of trust on that, those AIs, the image recognition software helped the black people identify them as gorillas. Now that's astounding, right? How can AI be not trustworthy? We've always been thinking that humans are biased, but the AIs can't be. But it did permeate, right? We did see biases in AI.
let's quickly go and switch to what is facial recognition, right? And you and me will agree that we believe that facial recognition is fairly accurate, right? Fairly accurate. But the MIT lab, when they did research, they found out that 97% of, there is only 97% of accuracy, and there is 3% of error rate in the facial recognition softwares. Now, when the analysis was done further, it was found that 3% of error rates were because the facial recognition software, which is developed on AI, could not identify particularly women faces, women of color, which means women of dark skin and Asian women couldn't be identified, right? That's really astounding, right? Again, further analysis was done by those MIT lab researchers, and it was found that the algos, right? When I say algos, the algorithm on which the data sets on which the algorithms are trained, 77% of that was of males, right? Further, right, 83% of the community that developed those algorithms were whites. And you see where I'm getting there, right? There were biases that got created, right? Biases in two areas, right? Biases in the data sets, in learning those algorithms. So the diversity of that data set wasn't considered. And the second was really about the community that developed those algorithms, right? Which created those errors, right? So there wasn't enough diversity who could develop those softwares, right? So that's where it is, right? There are biases, and we as leaders need to find ways to how we can eliminate biases even in the ever-evolving era of AI. Let's quickly go to the next one. Okay. I will quickly switch gears and talk about advancements in AI, opportunities and challenges. So while we've spoken about facial recognition, we've spoken about NLP. All of us know NLP, right? Google Translate is a classic example. We know how much of work is going on in the manufacturing industry with robotics, right? Autonomous car, needless to say. But the new kid in the blog is really generative AI. What is generative AI? Generative AI feeds on a lot of structured and unstructured data and gives you responses. It creates new content, right? So that's why it is called generative AI. It generates new content after feeding from deep learning mechanisms, right? So that's generative AI. Now, what's happening is there are new advancements that have come in the space as well, and these are the newest and the latest, while AI as a subject in itself is pretty evolving. So some of the generative AI softwares are, for example, which is available to the consumers and the public, is pretty much ChatGPT, right? And if not 100%, I can say at least 90% of this crowd perhaps would have gone to ChatGPT to find solutions. How should they be creating their presentations, right? You will be astounded to hear, right? ChatGPT speaks from 60% of all the readings and deep learning that it does is fetched from YouTube and Facebook. And then it gives you solution as if it is its own. It's scary, isn't it? Right? So that's where AI is getting into. So that's the overall advancements that are happening in AI, and as leaders, we need to keep abreast with it. There are enormous opportunities that we can talk about, which are spanning across the industries. And while there is some paucity of time, otherwise each of these will become a subject in itself, right? In terms of the use cases of AI and within the industry with the advent of Industry 4.0. I'll take some examples, and particularly because I'm from IBM, bear with me, I will have references of examples from IBM. I would like to call upon some immense, massive work that is happening for the good of human in this space, right? And that is the study of planktons. Any of you heard about planktons? Okay, so plankton is in the bottommost of the food chain, right? And it is the 2/3 of the oxygen that is provided by planktons. What IBM research is doing is studying these planktons, and they're trying to find out anomalies, shape changes, right? And these could mean catastrophic environmental disasters, right? If obviously if there is less oxygen, what happens all of us know, right? What I'm trying to say is this could possibly be done by hundreds and thousands of biologists looking inside the microscope, but the reality of the fact is this is all done under the labs of supercomputing deep machine learning labs that we have using generative AI, right? That's where the advancements really going in, right? Some of the other use cases I want to mention are transforming the medicine industry, manufacturing, again, autonomous cars, right? The advancements are also going in the financial and government in terms of detecting frauds in the public sector, it is detecting frauds in the taxes, right? Where I'm going is this whole industry of AI has immense opportunities. It will add almost 15.7 trillion of dollars to the world's GDP by 2030. And why I'm saying all this? We as leaders need to be aware where this is all going and what role we have to play in terms of ensuring there is inclusion within AI. Now, as opportunities are enormous in this space, it also comes with its fair share of challenges, right? I did speak about there is a lot of work that needs to be done around trusting AI, right? Gorilla is a classic example of that. While we want to believe that AI needs to be trustworthy because it helps us take decisions for them, but the reality is far-fetched. There is a lot of work that needs to happen. The other challenge is we just spoke about the biases that AI creates, and we as leaders need to think how we want to let go of these biases. Some other, and again, there are these AI tools that leaders can leverage. For example, again, taking reference from what's happening in IBM, there is something called Fairness 360-degree, right? This is a tool that is again created by researchers in IBM to help remove biases from the algorithms that are used by AI. So either you adopt technology that can help you remove biases from those algorithms, or there are other human ways of which you can eliminate biases. Right? Some of the other challenges I wanted to get to was obviously in a big way there are legal concerns, judiciary concerns. For example, what happens when an autonomous car hits with a car accident? Who owns the responsibility? It puts a whole question on our current legal system, right? If they challenge that thought, and all of those aspects need to be thought through in terms of the governances, the accountability as AI evolves, right? There are also data privacy issues. For example, what's happening is each of these deep learning AI, generative AI, is feeding on one another. Who do you call? They're all, to me, looking at your private data and making it their own. So it will challenge a whole lot of what is happening in the AI space, and we as leaders need to think about what it will look like in future. So with that, I also wanted to spend a minute to talk about how AI is enhancing inclusion and diversity at the workplace. IBM is a pioneer in the diversity and inclusion. We hired our first woman in 1899, our first disability in 1914. We had a D&I policy back then in 1954. So we have a history of 112 plus years, right? While we continue to transform our clients and build AI for them, AI is front and center what we do within our organization, right? And again, sorry, but I am from IBM trying to share my experiences, what we do within the organization, so that there are takeaways for others as well. There are AI initiatives that are run to ensure there is inclusion, right? And how we do that, I'll take some quick examples, not going through all of them, while we can refer, or we can have a discussion over a cup of tea. So in IBM today, there is an AI recommended compensation advisor, which is followed right from the top of the organization to the bottom of the chain. Right? What it really does, this AI is going to help you recommend compensation based on employees' past performance, future potential, the market pay, right? And also helps you allocate budget, irrespective of the ethnicity, the gender, the biases that any manager would have, right? So that's how we are making sure everything in AI that we have is included and is inclusive. Right, so one such example of compensation advisor. There is other example about what we are doing within accessibility area, right? There are people with disability and we need to make sure that within the for humanity, we need to make sure we have a place within the organization as well, right? In IBM research, what we've done is we created a software and an app for blind people so that they are able to travel freely through voice algorithms, right? So that is one. What we are also doing around disability is we have people with autism. AI is helping them read, comprehend, write the content, right? So there is immense work happening within IBM, and these are some of which that it is. AI for us is also making interventions. When I say AI for us, it is Watson. Okay, nothing else but Watson. So AI is making interventions in ensuring pay parity. Right? There is a lot of AI that is happening in the HR space. There is enterprise assessment, there is promotion recommendations, right? We are also doing leveraging AI for personal learning and development, right? So while I feel there is a lot that is happening, I still feel there is a concerted effort that is required and a continuous effort to enhance inclusion within AI. I move to the next slide, why it matters, right? Our role as a leader is immense with this ever-evolving AI, right? And we need to make sure in every decision that AI makes, we have inclusion and diversity within it, right? So, first role will be to make sure we educate ourselves in terms of all the technological advancements that are taking place. So we educate, we collaborate, and be aware of what's happening around us and how this is going to affect us, right? I see that leaders should orchestrate between the man and machine. That's never going to stop. This is the future, and that's how it will stay. We talked a lot about trusting data, right? We as leaders, while we make strategy of AI within our organization, we need to drive responsible AI, whether it is to adopting the AI tools or manual human interventions, but it's imperative that we adopt responsible AI. I did mention about fairness 360-degree kind of AI tools that will allow you to remove biases. So ethics in AI is a subject in itself within artificial intelligence, right? It will eventually play a huge, huge role in the future of AI. And of course, we need to look at embracing inclusivity, right? Give teeth to our strategies, be transparent with our data, fixing accountabilities, right? Fix targets for inclusion, diversity, strategies around AI. We need to continuously be looking at feedbacks. In IBM, what we do is called as engagement service, right? Inclusion is a key aspect of that survey. We do measure our inclusion index. So after you take feedbacks, it is also important to review your policies, right? So that's about embracing inclusive culture. Talent management, as you will see that with AI, more and more skills will get obsolete, right? So you as leaders will need to invest time and money in terms of building new skills, and that's the investment that will be required for building new capabilities and make success in the organization. With that, I would like to end by saying AI is not just about technology, it is about people. Yes, AI is a tool, but the decisions or the choices of how they are deployed will be ours. Thank you.
Thank Thank you. So AI is reality. It takes me back to the Star Trek days for all those who are from that generation, right? And kind of teleportation happening and you're suddenly transported to one place. So I'm sure that's going to happen, in a few years. But thank you very much, Pallavi. I think very, very insightful to understand AI, not just in terms of the technology, as she said, but also that there is a very, very huge people dimension to it and how we can use it for that. May I please request Upendra, Upadhyay, CTO, VAs to just kind of present a mentor to Pallavi. Thank you. Thank you very much. And so that is inclusivity in algorithm creation. And I think it was very fascinating to hear about the 3% which had forced you to just how people who thought about creating algorithms thought differently. We are now moving to our next segment, and I'm hoping and absolutely wanting this to be a very, very enlightening and thought-provoking section, which is two very dynamic panel discussions. And if I could start just introducing the moderator for first panel discussion, that is Benaifer Palsetia, sorry. Benaifer, if I could please have you here with us on the stage. And Benaifer is from DBS Bank, serves as the Executive Director and Head of HRR and HR COO, bringing over 18 years of professional experience in the entire gamut of HR. Please join me in welcoming Benaifer as she moderates the first panel discussion titled Breaking Barriers, Inclusive Leadership in Action, What CXOs Should Know. Okay, super. And now to our esteemed panelists and speakers who will be sharing their expertise on inclusive leadership. First off, we have Mamta Sharma, Senior VP and Head of HR India for Pfizer Global Services. Mamta is a committed people, talent, and HR leader with globally diversified experiences. Recognized as a strong and effective leader, she pioneers thinking, grows organizational capability, and demonstrates a sharp sense of business acumen. Mamta has played a consistent part in leading transformation projects and global teams, making her an expert in HR generalist practices and leadership development. Welcome, Mamta. Next up, we have Nishant Gupta, Head of Sustainability at Flipkart Group. Nishant is steering the Flipkart Group towards a greener future as the Head of Sustainability. Additionally, he oversees Walmart Foundation's philanthropic work in India, focusing on improving market access for smallholder farmers, with a special emphasis on women's participation and agency. With extensive experience in scaling up businesses and launching various initiatives at Flipkart, Nishant brings a unique perspective to our discussion. Nishant, great to have you here. And lastly, please welcome Anne Williams, Head HR SMFG India Home Finance Co Limited. Anne is an experienced leader with 27 years of expertise acknowledged as a valuable business partner and change agent. She has demonstrated success in managing HR essentials, driving organizational development and implementing processes. Anne's contributions extend to audit and strategy formulation, ensuring process adherence and monitoring the rural business portfolio. And with that, may I please hand over to you now.
Good evening, everyone, and happy festivities. And there has to be some noise in the room, so at least can we put hands together with that? Thank you. We're about to start the session. I have reserved them already, so I'm going to stand and not be with them. But while we go ahead with this path-breaking panel discussion that we have been cut down quite a short on our time limits. First, they came us and told us, don't do this. Then the second part came, now don't run with this. I'm just ready to go to jump on the session where they've asked us to do certain things. Okay. So we are here to discuss inclusivity in our organization. Inclusiveness means not only comforting and accommodating things. It means a change in mindset. It's a cultural change. It's not only driven by organizational change. So when we talk about diversity, inclusion in a country like India, we talk about a mindset change. So yes, we're going to start with our rapid fire round to our panel. We all heard the beautiful introduction that they have professionally with accolades that they have here. But when they are going to answer the question that I talked to them, they've already decided what they want to answer, so there is no secret in that. But they have to say something unique about themselves, which is not known professionally or something very different about you, and introduce yourself and then please answer the question. So I'm going to start with this one. Hi. If you had to describe inclusive leadership in one word, what would that be? And when you answer that, that is not your description. So you still have to answer that.
I was hoping that would first disclose what hampers are becoming.
We'll decide that later. We'll decide that.
Good. So, hi everyone, I'm Nishant. So, to answer the question first, I think one of the things that we consider very easy and simple to implement is just being curious and modest, right? And I perhaps now slide in my introduction also into this. So I've been with Flipkart for almost 12 years now. And last year we were launching the Thrive ERG Employee Resource Group at Flipkart, and I identify as gay. So when I came out at work, finally officially in front of everyone, one of the leaders actually, and everybody was very supportive, everybody was very encouraging. And one of the person actually came up to me and said that I'm very supportive of your choices, or of your choice. And I was like, thank you so much for your support, but is in your mind, is the choice that I'm making here is to come out at work, or is it to be gay? Because being gay is not a choice. And the person was immediately, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it. And that's where, the person then I took time with me to understand why is choice such a trigger word, right, for the community. And that in effect kind of creates this environment where people are curious to know, right? You don't need to know anything, you don't need to understand anything to be respectful. You just start from a vantage point that I don't know everything. I'm curious and I'm modest enough to unlearn what I don't know or what I don't know wrongly, and learn what it means to be inclusive, what it means to be understanding better of the world and the environment we live in. Right. So that was very moving for me also, because the people not always come from a state of bias. They just come from a place of years and years of conditioning what they think are the right things to say. Right? So it takes a lot of effort to just unlearn that and start a new journey.
Thank you so much. That was even enriching and enlightening for us. Thank you. And we go to Anne. And what would be the topmost challenge in driving inclusive culture?
So, I think the biggest one is your entire mindset. I mean, the unconscious bias, it's so ingrained in us in everything that we do and everything that we say. Now, at work, and at home also, of course, I have been told that I am a rebel. आपको कौन कुछ बोल सकता है, or you're always there to try to prove a point. So, I want to share this example of when we look at office offsite. What do you typically get? You get a cap and you get your t-shirt. A man's style t-shirt and a man's size t-shirt is small, medium, large, etc. Now, that is now for inclusion, right? I mean, you're told the best code is t-shirts and jeans. What if somebody doesn't wear jeans? And what if the smallest size is loose for someone and the largest size is tight, and that is something to do. Right, so at one of the event, right, last year, one of the senior leadership event, I met boss and I said, okay, my t-shirt, and I styled my t-shirt with a sari. So just to prove a point that not everybody is comfortable to wearing jeans, right? Where wore sari and a t-shirt. And I think I stood out as I could, looking very good then.
Thank you so much. on that. One piece of advice you give your CEO to drive inclusivity in your organization.
Look, I mean, a lot has been said, but one thing I would say is just passionately, inherently own it, right? I mean, because you can't fake it. It is going to show up in the most trying times and trying circumstances. When you are trying to pull the leadership team together, if you truly own it and you're truly passionate about it, that's really the one that's going to set the tone and the culture all the way, even in the most trying circumstances. So walk the talk. The point is that kids are not born into knowing anything different. It's just the way that our culture, the way that everyday life tends to become, and then that's where the differences creep up. So I think it all starts at home, and it has been said before, but I'm now like quite living it. So I think every opportunity you get, you should try and drive inclusivity and start at home.
Thank you. That was very sweet. Thank you. So now we move to the one main question. They're going to spend a lot of time answering, and I don't know how motivated we're going to get, but please. So please bear with us. Organization. And what are the different strategies that you adopt, okay, or help them adopt in your organization?
Yeah, all right. So look, again, there is at the cost of being repetitive to what a lot of it has been said, and I don't think that there is any particular order for this particular question. At the bare minimum, I would say just somebody mentioned mindset, right? You said it, and I think that to me is the core of it, right? Altering mindset states, and your example resonated as well. I had somebody when I was speaking at a forum at work that came up to me after that and said, "Oh my God, I'm so glad that you said that we have inclusive policies. I didn't even know that, and I have a partner here at work, and my manager doesn't know because I'm too afraid to tell them." Today, 3 years down the line, he's the chapter leader for Unity and taking the place miles ahead, right? So you just don't know the influence that leaders can have. And I think the sheer responsibility that we carry, right? Showing up at the right place at the right time, both externally and in internal forums. And truly speaking, just really walking that talk, right? And like I said, altering that mindset. The other nugget that I would throw in is not having it be an afterthought. So think about it to be like an organizational goal all the way from the get-go, right? And that means that it permeates through every little thing that we do. I mean, we just have a really broad mindset in terms of diversity and inclusion, whether it is pay parity, whether it is literally everything. I mean, think about this is all HR professionals, right? So think about your entire employee life cycle, and in every stage, are we really being inclusive? Are we really fostering diversity? Are we really truly looking at it from 9 days to Sunday, if you will, right? So I mean, that's the other piece I would say. And then having there was this debate in an earlier closed roundtable that we were in between what's ownership and what's accountability. But as leaders, call it what you want, right? But having that accountability or that ownership And taking stock, right? So we've got employee resource groups. Each one of them is a leader for one of those charters, and again, really passionately driving it all the way, trying to get influence to some of those stumbling blocks that are there because they do exist, and allowing for an open culture where people can talk, where people can express their thoughts, where people think that it is okay for me to share. Maybe we've had the genesis of Mother Rooms being created was, I won't get into the story, but again, it came out from just something where it's never been said before. So you just don't know what an idea can spark for the organization to take up. Because people, to the point that you said earlier, have really good intent. They just don't know. But if you allow for a workplace where people can share their thoughts, it does bring that up as well. So I would say some of these, and then ultimately, this piece about walk the talk and representation. I mean, I really do think that we're privileged to have this all the way at least in our leadership group. I mean, whether it's our CEO chairman at the top or even our GCC leader, they've got an equal representation of women. And it's not just women that we're talking about, but at the bare minimum, just really having and being very deliberate in your choices. So these are some of the pieces that I was drawn. Like, I mean, I know that I've got my colleagues running out of time. I could sit here for the next hour and just cover a lot more. So I do have not a party, but at least for midnight. So she knows a little too much. But I'm gonna pause here and hand over. But if there is time, I'm happy to pick up some of the other pieces.
So I think one of the key challenges for leadership that especially becomes getting into echo chambers, right? You inherently or by default or by the culture or despite the culture, you tend to get surrounded by people who think the best way to work with you is to agree with you, right? And that kind of impacts what is happening in your mind about what's happening on the ground. And I think one of the key things to do is to very actively seek different viewpoints because people are not going to offer them to you all the time. So you have to actually critique the idea or seek differences of opinion because they might not come to you very organically, right? So always seek out differences, always seek out critiques to everything that you're doing because whether you like it or not, people in the ground or your external stakeholders, your customers are going to perhaps not engage with you in a conversation, but are going to feel the repercussions of it, right? Some of the techniques that we typically deploy is one of the biggest things is that essentially we are a tech, business, logistics organization very prone to treating everything as a problem statement to be solved. So I think for us, diversity is also a problem statement or a project that we have to solve for, right? So I think it starts from problem identification or hypothesis building, getting down to the root causes of what's impacting certain elements or not. What are the success metrics going to be looking like? What are the checks and balances? What are the processes that you need to develop, and then drive responsibility towards execution of it on various people who are going to be involved, and then just track progress towards it. Right? So all our initiatives that we launch and what Bianca was sharing earlier, a lot of it is actually driven by metric and how many people have actually attended these sessions. So Flip the Script, which is one of the projects that we have where we kind of train all the managers to say that these are the very conscious and the unconscious biases that you may have, just address them, be conscious of these biases. And what you were saying earlier, that from an unconscious bias, become consciously unbiased. And we are happy that more than 1,000 managers have actually gone through those trainings. And the goal is that you have to try over a period of time all the managers who have gone through it. Right? So it's a very problem-solving sort of a mindset that we apply even for diversity and inclusion. So I think that's what we do.
For us, it's macro culture. How diversity has been embedded in our vision, mission, and values. And when we said that we spoke about diversity of business, geographies, customers, people. A lot of what has happened probably in the organization has been natural. But over the last 2 years, like I said, we needed to be conscious about bringing this entire agenda as part of our culture. And of course, we started with creating awareness and inclusion program. And now we talk about diversity of thought. And when we do these programs, you see changes. Like for example, when we were getting the leadership speech in the HFC business, the mandate was made was for every position I need to see a diversity of profile. Or very recently, when we were talking about the rest of the board meeting, this year we were meant to say, okay, this applies to the men, and then pause and said, that's why it can apply to women too. So we're very foremost slowly with eyes. Now, I think what I'm trying to say is when the leadership pauses this and starts looking at being inclusive, that behavior trickles down within the organization. We also had, I just as an example, in 2014, when we had the senior leadership annual meeting, the women representation was two. The entire forum, and when we looked at this year, we were 30 women there. So it's gradually progressing, and like I said, you write inclusive policies, you build rules around it. But what we should be doing is reiterating, keep going back and reconfirming that there is this culture that needs to be inclusive, and people's behavior that needs to be inclusive. So we do that, and when we went around with this, so we didn't start with the leadership. What we did was we did focus group discussions, we did pilots. Our pilots included people who we believe, set of team leaders that had this clear conscious bias. So they became part of the pilot team. So they became our allies, and when we designed and developed the entire program, they were responsible for the entire. And after we done the 10 sessions, then we moved into the leadership. So we had leadership view, and then we had what the ground was talking about, based on the programs that we developed, and that's when we went around to see how we do that. And of course, challenges are, whenever there's a culture change, there's always going to be resistance. There's going to be this whole, societal stigma, the opinion, all of that happens. I think the only thing that kept us going was, what keeps us going is being persistent and reiterating this over and over.
Thank you so much. And with this, we end our panel. But the thought that we can all take home is right from cultural change to leadership change to an employee and a manager change to driving change at home and starting that at home and the change in the thought. So because it all starts with the mind. So thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vinay, for doing such a beautiful moderation, and of course, Mamta, Nishant, and Anne. Great to have you here. Please, would I request Meeta, co-founder, VAs, and head talent acquisition, to present mementos to our moderator and panelists. And if I could please request on stage just once more, Vinayakar and Mamta. Thank you very much. And please, Nishant and Anne, if we could have you back on stage one more time. their perspectives, views, and one of the main themes of inclusion is to be open to all the diverse viewpoints that there are. So, thank you once again. We are now moving on to our second panel discussion. Again, a very, very interesting topic. And I'm delighted to introduce our next moderator, Monica Sabharwal, partner at IBM Consulting India, South Asia. Monica is a trusted partner in leading next-gen transformation, driving complex programs for innovation, and fostering a one-team mindset. Monica is a seasoned professional ready to guide us through the future of inclusion, emerging trends, and best practices in the AI world. So we are back to AI and for this very exciting discussion. May I now request our guests to please come on stage. And as we explore inclusion, this is really about a captivating journey into the intersection of technology and inclusive leadership and people. I think what we had in our IBM conversation also. The first of our insightful speakers is Naveen Upadhyay, Chief Human Resources Officer at 361. With over 2 decades of experience in the wealth and asset management industry, Naveen is a strategic HR leader driving human resources strategy with a focus on culture, talent management, learning and development, and diversity and inclusion. Welcome, Naveen. And next up, we have Nandini Singh, partner and leader, public sector, oil and gas, education at IBM Consulting in India, South Asia. An entrepreneur and business leader with 28 plus years of experience, Nandini has led digital and business transformations across various sectors. Welcome, Nandini. And lastly, please do join me in welcoming Sabi Kidwai, Director of Learning Solutions, Talent Management and Coding at Schneider Electric, a seasoned HR professional with a passion for unlocking potential and unleashing possibilities. Sabi has been a coach for young and seasoned professionals alike. Welcome, Sabi, and look forward to a great discussion. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Hi, testing. Okay, so good evening and greetings to all of you. Warm welcome, and we come to a very important subject that we have for our panel today, along with our esteemed leaders who will share their experience and vision. We have already heard a lot about the impact of AI, but the topic of today is extremely, important in the sense, what is the future of inclusion in the AI world? What are the best practices? What are the emerging trends? There's a lot of tech that's there, and we heard some astounding numbers earlier that this will pose an opportunity to unlock potentially 16 trillion, right, by 2030. So those are the kind of numbers that we're talking about, very powerful. With great power comes great responsibility. And it is extremely important that we look at it from that lens of how we can action it as a responsible, and inclusive leadership team. Alright, so just to see how AI is pervasive, we heard of some examples from my colleague Pallavi, but it's only present right now. In terms of talent management, there are a lot of hiring decisions that are happening to ensure a fairer representation of diverse talent. There is also, if we extend it beyond the workplace, healthcare is a big consumer of AI. There are medical interventions that are being proposed using diagnostic tools. There are also personalized treatment plans that are being created using AI. And if we think of it, it's everywhere. So we have predictive policing that's happening. So in the intelligence area, we have housing loan decisions that are being taken. So extremely pervasive, extremely important. Let's hear from our leaders how they see it panning out and what are the best practices that they would like to share with their experience. Okay, so Naveen, I would like to begin with you. What is the artificial intelligence? How is artificial intelligence currently being leveraged to enhance diversity and inclusion in our industry?
I'm not sure if you can hear me. Just a quick check. You can. Thank you. So I'm going to start with a small story here. This was in my previous role when one of our business leaders invited us to meet a group of people. And we reached the office to meet those group of people. And those group of people, just guess how many were there? Any idea? They were 100 plus. And the question they had, those 100 people, had only one question. Will my job go? Yeah. And as an HR guy, just imagine I lost all the hair till now. As an HR guy, just to hold all those set of individuals was a huge, huge humongous task. What would be the response of an HR guy? Just guess. Will the job go? Yes or no? Yes, job will go. That's the response. Job will go, careers will not. And that's where people started appreciating, right? That, look, my current role will go, because role will become redundant with technology coming in. Jobs will become redundant with tech coming in, but your careers will never be. And that's where it's very, very important for each one of us to own up our career in the ecosystem with technology advancing. I have Samir here, who is part of BAS, he was my colleague in the previous role. We came back to office and we said, what do we do next? And we rolled out something called Lean and Digital Discovery. That's where we said, let's look internally what we're doing within the firm. Let's look externally what external talent or market is doing and try to marry that and go back to our employee base. What a lot of people were doing when that, and I'm talking about 2014-15. During those years, what people were doing when the new small tech invention came in, they were skilling, they were reskilling, they were upskilling, they are helping people to change roles, they're helping people to change careers, they're providing an ecosystem, and that's true for AI integration as well. With Gen AI coming in, I think it's very, very important for us as an HR leader to go back to our ecosystem, go back to our business community, go back to our core stakeholders, and inculcate this, I would say 4 A's. And those 4 A's are: 1, align with the new age tech. Very, very important to get your stakeholders alignment. Anticipate and appreciate the new tech which is coming in to change the world. So that's 1. Second, I think, which is very, very important, is how do you adopt to that change? And that again starts from the leadership itself. Create that ecosystem, go back to the set of communities which we live in, and start talking about those awareness campaigns. The third one, which is, I spoke about alignment, adoption. The third one, which is very important, is awareness. Right? There's a myth around, will my job go? Will my career go? Answer is no. Right? And the last lead, which is very, very important, and we are part of a skilling platform today, is how do we accelerate the entire learning intervention? That is very, very important. Right? So that's where I'm going to leave you with the thought, Monica.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Remember the 4 A's. So we will move on to what emerging AI trends do you see having the most significant impact on diversity and inclusion in the future?
Thanks, Monica. Before I respond to this, let me calibrate. How many of you had at least one drink? Show of hands, please.
Does chai count as
The noisy ones.
Yeah, so, no, but at least half of the group has, so now I can go with us and speak whatever that I have in mind. So, on this one, I think what is important is that, of course, AI will be able to create a level playing field for a lot of sub-represented or less represented sections within the community and within the organizations, and it would create more room for a more objective evaluation for promotions, for hiring, and particularly looking at it, inclusion is something which is more complex to handle. So far, what we've been able to achieve is more diversity, because that's simple to count and keep a track of. But inclusion is something where AI would be able to really help create a more level playing ground. But there is a caveat to it, and that is that we will have to be mindful of what data goes into it. Where is the data being labeled? How is it being labeled? How is it looked at? So I just before this, I know there was this conversation that how face recognition can go wrong 50% of the time. Lot of the data that has been looked at, there are inherent biases into that, or there are assumptions with which that data has been labeled and is being utilized by the artificial intelligence, and that's where we have to be very mindful of. Just as an example, there is a story that comes to my mind is that one gentleman early morning was going to the airport and he took a cab. So the cab driver got into it and a very chirpy guy started talking, how are you, where are you going, sir, this and that. And at the airport, I will not take you too long, I'll drive fast and he was going to be careful. He said, no, don't worry. And he started driving and comes the first red light and he jumps the light. So the person said, be careful, you jump the light. Oh, no, we are three brothers, we drive like this. We don't care, we know the route very well. And he continued. And after that, there was one more red light and he jumped the red light again. He said, I told you, be careful. Don't worry, sir, we are three brothers. We drive like this. We know the place very well, don't worry. And then comes the third light, which was green. And he screeches and stops the car. So what happened? Jump the two red lights and now you stop the car on a green light. He says, "Udhar se bhai aa raha hoga." So I mean, sometimes data has not incorporated the ground realities of the context in which it has to operate. And that is going to be critical when we look at data, when we rely on artificial intelligence. So I think for a few years to come, what is going to be more important is the combination of the two. The artificial intelligence and the human ability. It will be a combination that will play the game and will make it more effective and impactful. Data will be able to give you information to make judgment, but the sense of justice would still remain very human. And that's something that we will have to really live with. So that's the one that I would want to make.
Absolutely. I think it's very important that we ensure that AI is used to augment human decisions, to accelerate our decision making, and it cannot replace the human capability in that sense. Also, just to add a point, facial recognition technology, given the kind of biases and the issues that were related around it. In fact, just to reaffirm and a little bit data point from IBM side, we have done away with the facial recognition software as of 2020 because it was introducing a lot of discrimination and ethical concerns around the technology. Just to share a little bit of data points. Okay, so Nandini, is it movie time? Okay, so I think
we get attention back, I guess.
Yes, we have everyone warming up already. Movies have had a huge impact on how we feel, even to the extent of how, what kind of fashion choices we make. How do you think AI analytics has a role to play of the omnipresent bias that exists in the Hindi film industry or Hollywood and so on and so forth?
So, thank you. Movies actually qualify in art and culture, right? They are a basic source. They are one of the sources to entertain. But I think movies is not only about entertainment and art. Long time back, yes, your art and culture, your paintings had a human listing, had a major part where humans were playing. But movies, films, from the start, have been technologically supported. You had cameras, your moving cameras, your still cameras, but they were the ones where movies is a perfect example of confluence of art and technology. But not only that, it is also a confluence of physics, chemistry, biology, right? So physics, tools, and then of course chemistry, how you develop films. So movies has been technologically aided by technology, and here as well. Now in the AI, I think it will help throughout. So we have consumers consume the movies. Then we have to make them behind the scenes, behind the curtains, so to say. So there are two sets of people who make or create a movie, right? Then you also have backend, you have actors. You can use AI for actors. How? Actors are the only ones who can actually play a female role. Diversity they can actually show on the pardas, so to say. They show as a child. They can act as an old person, sick, well, Superman. They can also act as a sexual orientation can change. So they have to act. And how do they help? We cannot replace actors, of course. We will not be able to replace human face there. But what can we do? What they can do? They can go back and have a look at how AI can algorithms can help them in acting and actually those nuances can be added. Not only because if an actor, a male actor wants to act as a female, he doesn't have to just matko and start and walking like a there are so many nuances, women. It's a more nuanced characterization. So there is a factor. It can help directors, except story writers. I should say we should not cheat or ask ChatGPT to write for us. But I think that is where only the but the script. Once you read the story, the script can be actually made more sensitive towards ethnicity, towards color, towards sexual orientation. So many things and comedy. It is no more a case that Shilpa is told in laugh. Right? Our sense of comic fantasy, our sense of everything is increased and we now expose much more to people. It will myriad of things in filmmaking and I think you can have with your algorithm there, you can have a live dynamic inputs from there, or your you can actually change your little fine tuning. You can do it later on, and also the last part is for visually impaired, for hearing people. I mean, you can actually honestly somebody talks about. We should make those films, and AI can help. AI can help with AI. So there are multiple things which movie and filmmaking I say is where AI can help.
So we'll just shift gears a little bit and we come to the rapid fire round. We're already, on a roll and on fire, but now we need to be very rapid as well. So we just do a quick one. Now, can you share a quirky AI project or experiment that you followed?
Okay, I have a 93-year-old father. So who's the best person I can work my AI on? And you will not believe this is 93 and he's on Facebook, he's on Instagram, he's on WhatsApp, and he feels that he's not on LinkedIn. So now he thinks he's a pro, you can actually see him on Facebook. His name is Devi Nandan. He's a 93-year-old man and he is avidly responsive. Every good morning he has to respond. So what I did was that I thought he thinks he's a pro and he can tell me that what his IT is all about and what is Facebook. So what I did with him was there was a photograph of his he's 93-year-old photograph, the present photograph, and then with the use of GNAI, I actually showed him how he can become a Chinese learner. That's not possible. and he also by just putting his lot of stuff there, and I said, just read it, just say it. And then it throws up the whole essay there about gardening or something about his passion. It's unbelievable. So that is what I put my favorite personality on with my father.
Awesome. I think we definitely want to talk. And I'm wishing you continued good health. So, Naveen, what's the unique AI-driven initiative that you have recently come
So I'll talk about my current company 361. What we are doing there is we call it one single source of truth. We are getting all data from different platforms which we have for different set of businesses into one, and that's why it's called one single success of truth. The entire idea behind here is that how can one data, which is, we spoke about the efficiency of data, can drive that at 360-degree perspective for that one insight, which is very valuable for the client. And that's what we are trying to achieve that. And that's the work in progress for us.
Thank you. Very, very interesting. Susavi, again, rapid fire, remember. Name one AI technology or application that you believe will revolutionize the way we think about inclusion.
Think of any immediately, but what I can tell you is that one of the things that we are doing at our company is called Open Talent Month, where we're putting all the jobs and all the employees are there on that same portal. The AI matches the capabilities and interests of those people to the possible opening, and then connects to the hiring manager and without any barriers. So that's something that we are already practicing.
Thank you for sharing that. That's I would say. So, folks, just to conclude, thank you so much to all the leaders for sharing their quick point of view. We are indeed here witnessing a transformative impact that AI carries, especially in terms of when we are combining it with intentionality and ethical institutions, cultural differences. Our leadership is critical. It's a real opportunity for all of us to make an impact and to together define what good looks like. So it is definitely our owners. We need to ensure the AI tech that we create or deploy or invest in is responsible, is
which is the awards section, the last and final one. So all your patience is well worth it. Give us just a couple of minutes.
बैटरी देना
All right, thank you very much. So as I said, it is now genuinely time for lights, camera, and action. Please do bear with me as I present to you now the awards category. It is absolutely worth it for me to say that there is a lot of entries we had from all the fantastic organizations, and there is going to be reading up of each of these that I will do. So I think it's great that we can acknowledge and applaud the teams and the organizations who put in so much effort in making it today a reality. These awards have Managing Director of SDA Bicholi Asia Center as a distinguished member of the jury panel. After earning a degree from Bicholi University in 1987, specializing in Italian fashion design, Alessandro forged a successful career in luxury marketing with roles at L'Oreal, Zegna in Paris, Barcelona, and Italy. A serial entrepreneur, he founded companies in Italy, Spain, China, and India. A passionate travel and sports enthusiast, Mr. Giuliani has served on the board of the Indian Chamber of Commerce in Italy and Indo-Italian Chamber of Commerce in Mumbai. He has played a pivotal role in promoting and launching STA Bicholi Asia Center, where he has been managing director since 2012. So, for our first category of awards, may I please request Mr. Ravi Tharwal to join me on the stage for the award distribution. And this category is innovation, in which we are presenting the award for Digital People Practices of the Year. This award recognizes organizations that have put digitization and automation of people processes as the key agenda for growth. And ladies and gentlemen, the first award of the evening, please put your hands together for DCM Sriram for their award-winning entry. May I please request the team to come on stage? And just a few words about what they have done. So, DCM Sriram Group of Companies has adopted new technologies to accelerate HR services and processes with the introduction of an AI-based chatbot, which has helped solve employee queries and reduce the turnaround time. This innovative solution helps them not only conduct regular house checks for new employees at the 3060 management milestones, but also serve the hospital workforce. This is just one among the many other initiatives taken by the organization to digitize HR processes and platforms to serve businesses. Congratulations to the entire team and management of DCM Shriram Limited for their commitment to put the HR agenda on top. And continuing the award further, we would like to now commend next Cognizant Technology Solutions India Private Limited in Digital People Practices of the Year. So please, may I invite the team here on the stage to accept the Digital People Practices of the Year award.
इसकी भी जा चुकी है 2 बार आपकी बैठी है पास आपकी है
Cognizant has
आपने मेरी लगी
exceptional efforts in digital technologies to revolutionize resources, learning, and workforce management. From extensive usage of AR and VR during the induction process to an artificial intelligence-based learning insights platform that provides a personalized adaptive learning journey, Cognizant has also digitized the instructional design, content development, and learning process. Truly set the bar high. So a big round of applause for Cognizant and for its commitment to digital transformation and for being a shining example to the industry. Congratulations once again. Okay, so we move now on to our second award category, wellness. And we are presenting the award for benchmark practices for overall employee well-being. This award recognizes the companies that have adopted wellness as a core and have significantly embedded wellness and employee well-being in their practices. One of the key topics of discussion these days is employee wellness, be it on the trend of burnout and push for better work-life balance, and what it really means in today's work environment as it's a burning world. So a healthy and stress-free workplace builds great organizations. May I now invite Mr. Alessandro Giuliani to please present the award. The first in this category is for Cisco India Private Limited. Please, can we have the team on stage to accept this award for employee well-being in this category? Created a health and well-being annual calendar which helped in running highly impactful initiatives in an organized manner. Be it physical, mental, or financial wellness, all the aspects of wellness have been incorporated in their calendar to create awareness and make employees feel valued and respected. My personal favorite is really asking employees to take a break every 30 minutes and helping them with financial plans for their future. So a fantastic initiative, executed well and received very well. Congratulations to the team. The next organization to be awarded the benchmark practices for employee well-being. Flipkart. We would like to invite Team Flipkart on stage, please. Backbone of Flipkart's success is the supply chain operation with a large mile workforce who work in the hubs and warehouses pan India and are closer to the end customer. Flipkart has taken special initiatives to cater to their needs through insurance support, health checkups, and teleconsultations, elaborate recognition events divided by geographical zones, and robust grievance redressal mechanisms. The scale and the spread of these interventions makes this unique and showcases the organization's intent to wellness. They have undertaken initiatives across the workforce to address the most relevant health issues of employees and their families, challenge employees' belief systems, which is around mental wellness especially, and provide a fine balance of offerings across all the wellness pillars. Congratulations once again to Flipkart. Our third category of awards this night is leadership, in which we are presenting the awards for excellence in developing women leaders. This award recognizes the organizations that are creating programs, interventions, and opportunities for emerging women leaders to develop them for the future. And for this, I request our jury member, Bhaskar Pramanik, on stage, please, to present the awards. Thank you, Bhaskar. And we are so excited to now announce the organizations to be awarded the Excellence in Developing Women Leaders Awards. The first one, Akamai India. Please, we have the team for our presentation on stage. Akamai, please. We have here will take the award. And Akamai has a program branded as Stand Tall, a boutique program which is specially designed to support and promote the advancement of women at the lead levels to transition to leadership positions. It is a development journey spread across 3 months designed using the 70-20-10 model to support them in the journey of exploring their full potential. Stand Tall has covered 120 plus women in the last 6 years. External mentoring and coaching the participants has helped them navigate the bylanes of growth. So well done, Akamai, and congratulations. And the next organization in this category is 361. Wealth Asset Management Services. Yes, again, a very thoughtful program for women leaders was launched with the objective of women's career development. This program covered vital topics such as presence and impact, authentic leadership, conflict management leadership, and self-awareness to empower leadership roles. Also, the organization introduced Herself, a wealth management learning initiative which was aimed to enhance financial awareness among women and feature inspiring speakers including women entrepreneurs. Congratulations, 361. Okay, for the next 2 categories of awards, please may I request Mr. Nishchey Suri to come on the stage and join us. And our 4th award category of the night is DEI, in which we are presenting the Leadership in Gender Equity Award. This award recognizes companies that excel in promoting gender equity in the workplace through a number of measures, including a focus on leadership representation. The first of these awards is for Airtel, Please may we have Team Airtel on the stage to accept the award. Airtel focuses on 4 areas for gender equity and inclusion: hiring, retention, culture, and infrastructure enablement. The STEM program was introduced, which is focused on removing hiring barriers. Another program, Inclusion in Action, was launched, which focused on fostering a culture of enablement for women. The organization focused on opening opportunities for women based in tier 3 and 4 cities with location, societal, and mobility constraints. The program allows women talent with flexibility and empowers them to be financially independent, especially when they cannot leave their hometown, and that is called inclusion. Return to Work program, welcoming women back to full-time roles after a total break of more than 12 months and ensuring a bias-free interview process for them by training hiring managers on the best practices for hiring right. 1,000 plus people managers have been trained so far in inclusion and action workshops, and this was done through ongoing 30 in-person and facilitator-led sessions. Each session has had sponsors from senior business leaders and HR heads of the units, and a very well thought through and well executed strategy. I am a very integral part of it and very proud of it. So, congratulations once again, Team Airtel. The next one is GDS India. And please, should we have the team on the stage now? GDS India has launched several initiatives to focus on gender equity with a threefold strategy. The first, increase representation of gender, especially abled and generationally diverse identities, enable platforms and psychologically safe culture for empowering neurodiverse contributions. And the third one, activate diverse talent communities to build a continuous and resilient pipeline. And some of the key initiatives taken by them are 25% of training budget is dedicated to learning initiatives for women, peer learning platforms, conducting inclusion masterclasses, and launch of women in banking communities to increase gender diversity. So fantastic work, Team DBS. The next one in this is SMFG India Credit Company Limited, first by Flipkart India. Please, we have the team on stage. There has been a growth of 40% in women's income in financial year 23, and there has been a 9x growth in women's income in rural sales since financial year 21. The count of women in rural businesses has moved from 42 to 500 plus since this project started. After a fantastic progress and across all of these states and rural branches, more than 1,400 employees have voluntarily attended TINT, DEI workshops, which focused prominently on gender inclusion, policies and SOPs revised to enable the ecosystem. SMFG has trained 30,000 plus women on financial literacy and upskilled 5,000 plus women and continues to work towards financial inclusion of women through their rural business model. And again, very happy to be associated with SMFG in this fantastic initiative. Next, we move on to our awards on DEI Excellence, which is dedicated to efforts in building an impactful culture. And the winning organizations in this category had a laser-sharp focus on not just initiatives and policies focused on DEI, but also on driving shifts in attitudes and cultures within the organization to help make diversity and inclusion a core priority. Not just an item on the checklist, which we've seen for many, many years. We are excited to announce the organizations to be awarded the DEI Excellence Building Culture. The first one is PwC India. So, please continue on stage. PwC has incorporated an inclusive performance management process, which is focused on promoting gender equity, from retaining the waiting for employees taking long leaves, promotion reviews, to pay equity reviews. The organization ensures that each aspect of diversity and inclusion is taken into consideration for policies and processes. Congratulations, PwC. And again, this category is Airtel. So please may we have Team Airtel once again to accept the DEI Excellence Culture Award. And next is again Flipkart. So please get me on the stage to accept the DEI Excellence Culture Award. This award is given to Flipkart for their thoughtfulness and clear intent for its inclusivity, specifically in the diverse and geographical spread of workforce, for taking care of the workforce and providing them with benefits which are much required by them and their family. This sets the tone of building a great culture of care and respect. And now for the final award of the night, the DEI Excellence Awards for enabling people practices. And may I please request Mr. Varadnath to join us on stage to present these awards. This award recognizes companies that have demonstrated a commitment to diversity and inclusion in the workforce and have implemented successful programs, policies, and initiatives to promote diversity and inclusion. While we will be awarding this to 3 organizations for their outstanding work in the area, we have received a number of excellent applications in this category, and that is a true testament of the amazing work being done to drive DEI excellence across sectors and industries by all the organizations. So before we award 3 organizations, a big round of applause for all of you, please. The first one here is Schneider Electric. And please, if the team could come onto the stage. Among the initiatives that Schneider has driven in the GI space, the ones that stood out include focused hiring, career development, and women development programs like Pooja and Otis. Another program called Saksham is focused on PWD, what all these organizations can do. What stood out was a program named Jagriti, which covered more than 9,000 plus students across 50 plus schools in Pan India, including Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, and encouraged students, especially young girls, to explore their career journeys in STEM. So the well-rounded 360-degree view of DEI creates an impact internally and externally. Congratulations and very, very well-deserved, Team Schneider. The second award in this category is Nestle. Team Nestle on the stage, please. For Nestle, they have a diverse workforce and their efforts to increase women's representation in factories comes across as a very, very great initiative. Their factory at Sanand, Gujarat, has become a lighthouse factory, leading the way for those around it. The factory is a diverse, digital, lean and green factory. The operations were commenced in 2020 with the target to have 50% women, and through extensive and effective recruitment, they broke their own internal targets by achieving more than 60% women across blue-collar and white-collar employees at Sanand. Key initiatives that were implemented at the site include sanitary napkin vending machines and disposal units in all washrooms, female nurses and security guards in all shifts. Multiple other initiatives related to career development and leadership talks. Conscious efforts were also made towards the inclusion of persons with disabilities. Well, the next day, congratulations. And the last of our awards for the evening, ladies and gentlemen, is for IBM. And I would like to invite Kriti Jain, D&I leader, IBM India South Asia, and one of the team, to please accept this DEI Excellence Award. The corporate inclusion and development is set to the top, and multiple programs are currently running within IBM. This includes programs to support parents in their parenting journey and work-life integration, support programs for women, returning to the workforce, lactation rooms in IBM offices, and subsidized daycare facilities, career enablement programs for women, and coaching and mentoring programs with an intention to create gender balance and decision-making roles. So overall, great work across all the different segments of BI, clearly leading in this space. Congratulations once again. We would like to give a special note of thanks to the esteemed jury for their input and insights and for making award entries go through a very diligent set of criteria. May I please request Anurangita to now come on stage to present our jury members with mementos. May we please have our jury members in the on stage, please, and the mementos. Alessandro, Naveen and Sumita, please have you on stage. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say a very special thank you once again to all the organizations and to all of you for being here. All the entries in the awards were absolutely inspiring. And although we named a few organizations today, the work being done in the realm of inclusive leadership by all organizations has been absolutely fantastic and an inspiration. And we hope to see more and more outstanding work in this area in the years to come. So here's to a more exclusive and diverse world with all its support and leadership. And may I now request Samir Mathur, COO for VAs, to please present and share our experience.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you so much, Ms. Sarina, for conducting the award ceremony and this evening. I think it was a very exciting evening today. And I just wanted to thank all of you for participating. I think it's a working day, and you've made it to this event, and we're so glad to have all of you here. I just wanted to thank all my jury members. In fact, what really happened was that by 10th of November, we received almost 165 entries for awards. And the team had no other option but to really work during the Diwali holidays to read through all the nominations and then work with the jury members to kind of shortlist the awards which we have given today. So thank you so much, and I just wanted to thank the VA's team as well for all the work that they have done to kind of put this event together. And I now announce this meeting closed, and the bar and the networking and the dinner is now open. Thank you so much for being here.
फोटो